episode of the Book Fix podcast, a podcast that fixes lives one book at a time, spooky edition. I'm your host, Yahaira.
I'm your host, Chelly. Welcome to the last week of spooky.
How do you feel?
After this, nothing can ever be spooky again. I'm so glad. I'm so scared all the time.
I'm just scared. Also, a lot of the scary stories that we read were just heartbreaking.
Yeah,
so
they were.
sad.
I know. But
I thought I was going to be spooked, not crying.
yes, but I still feel spooked. So I'm spooked and crying.
I know, literally.
So today we are going to be talking about a few stories and a collection of stories from a book called Our Shadows Have Claws.
Yeah, which is 15 Latin American monster stories. It's written by different authors. And we only picked a few that we're going to talk about today.
Yep.
Go read the whole book. The first one is titled Donde está el Duende by Jenny Torres Sanchez.
The next one's Dismembered by Anne Davila Cardenal.
And then Bloodstained Hands Like Yours by Gabriela Martins.
And the last one is La Pata Sola by Raquel Marie. There is a lot of other short stories in this one, so I do recommend if you want a bit of spook, maybe give this one a try.
So we don't tell each other how we feel about the stories that we discuss, but this time's a little bit different because it's a short story collection. So go ahead, Shelly. What do you think my overall thoughts of, like, my vibes?
You know what
guess?
I think would be a good way to do this instead?
Okay.
Can I say out of the 4 we're reading, which one is your favorite?
Okay, hold on. I gotta think about yours. I know which one's your favorite.
Okay, I think your favorite's going to be Dismembered.
Okay.
No explanation. Slay.
Because she's
Slay,
dismembered.
but rest in peace. Is. Well, I mean, we're being honest.
Okay, anyway, I think your favorite is gonna be La Pata Sola. No explanation needed.
Okay.
Can I have a runner-up though?
What do you mean?
Can I have a, just in case I'm wrong?
Okay, go ahead.
It's only 4 and I'm like panicking. I think you also like Donde está el Duende.
Okay, sounds good. You know what's something funny?
What?
It's funny because you and I don't speak Spanish with each other. But I feel like in these episodes, when we're reading something that has Spanish in it or written by a Latin author, it kind of like just sneaks in.
It comes out. Well, I feel like you and I, especially with our jobs, we've had to speak more Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
And then I always speak Spanish with my boyfriend and his family. Not perfect Spanish. Don't get it twisted. But like I feel like I'm more used to it now than before when we were younger.
Yep.
But we still don't speak Spanish to each other. Not really.
No.
If we do, it's rare.
But like, sometimes we just throw it in there. I feel like that's going to happen with this episode. Mostly with the first one we are talking about, which has to do with a fucking duende.
Yeah. So I did write a summary for this one. Do you want me to say the summary?
Yeah, I won't cry. Go ahead.
Okay. Donde está el Duende is a short story where Miranda and her family visit her aunt and cousin who live in Florida because her cousin has been acting a little strange and a little distant recently. While visiting, Miranda notices the emptiness in her cousin's eyes, but what really worries her are the scratches on the walls that keeps her up at night.
Damn. So before you read this, did you already know what a duende was?
Yeah, I had heard of it. But, okay, the thing is that I had heard of it, but I didn't exactly remember 100%.
Okay. Do you have a duende story?
I don't have a duende story.
I have a duende story.
You do?
A little one.
I don't even remember, honestly. I have such bad memory.
So what I grew up knowing was that a duende is just like a little guy.
A little dude.
A little dude. And in my mind, I thought if you like grabbed like a 30-year-old man and clicked shift and clicked his image and shrunk
it. Dude,
that would be a duende. Because they're usually like 3 feet tall, but they look like just grown-ass men. And basically, duendes live in the walls of children's rooms. And when you're asleep, they like clip your toenails. But if you don't have any, or like I guess if it's not outgrown, they like take your toes.
Not the toe.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. And I know that that by heart because I remember my mom used to offhandedly say like, be careful for the duendes.
Yeah, I remember my mom saying stuff like that too, but I don't remember her explaining why, I just didn't care, I guess. I was like, yeah, I will watch out for him, whoever he is.
Well, when I used to live in the Yeehaw state, when I used to live
Texas.
there, our house was right off of like this. It was a weird street because it didn't have a name and it was like a dirt street, but it was the only street you can use to get to my house from the main street.
Okay.
So like if the main street is across, it was literally just curves and curves and curves all around bushes and trees. You can't see anything. It's just bushes and trees. And then you would get to my house. Okay. So one time I was really, really young. I was probably in like, I don't remember when I moved, like in 4th grade, 5th grade.
Okay.
My mom saw a little guy just carrying like a piece of tree. And that's it. She was driving by and he was barely like finishing crossing that dirt road and he just had a piece of like bark on his shoulder and just like was walking into the bushes. And like she drove and then she looked at it. And you know when you like look at something, dismiss it, but then you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, you turn all the way back, like, hold on.
So she looked back and nothing was there. So I'm not one to believe in that type of stuff, but my mom got home that day. I don't remember if I was with her. I was so young. Yeah. I don't remember if I was with her or waiting for her, but I just remember her going up to my grandpa and just being like, I saw it. I saw him.
I saw him.
Explained it.
No explanation needed though.
But she said it the same way. It's like he just looked like an adult man but small. That's what he looked like. Okay. There we go. But that's my duende story.
A duende is like an elf, no? Isn't
it's like an elf or an imp that can control its size. Okay. So like if it's scared that you're gonna see it, it could turn like microscopic.
Okay. Yeah. Damn, he's a shapeshifter. Love that. Okay, so let's go over the story. Since I gave the summary, do you want to start us off with what happens in the beginning?
Well, this story takes place when a mom, a dad, and a girl named Miranda go visit their tia Susana and cousin Daniel in
Florida.
I
think they're coming from New Mexico.
Yes. And this is like freshly since their like Theo died.
Yeah, so Susanna and Susanna's husband, Daniel's dad, passed away from like a heart attack or something along those lines. And Miranda's family, there's a part where Susanna was reaching out to the dad, Miranda's dad, and being like, come visit. And every time he'd be like, oh, I can't. Or just like giving excuses, right? Because life. And finally, he was like, okay, we have to go now because they reached a point where they could no longer not see what was happening to Daniel.
Yep. So going there, Daniel and Miranda are very close cousins. They would hang out all the time. They would tell each other everything. But as soon as Susanna shows up here, she notices that Daniel's just
vacant,
not talking to anyone, keeps his earphones on.
And the mom, Susanna, is so like, I felt so bad for her because even she looked broken because she would try to talk to him and he would just be like, just lost.
Yeah. And I did not have any thoughts with this at all. Like, I didn't know why he was acting like that. Because the first paragraph of this short story starts with Miranda saying that she heard scratching on the walls. And then I kind of dismissed what was happening to Daniel because I was like, oh, he's probably going through mourning. Like, he just lost his dad.
Because they also assumed that, too, that, maybe it has to do with the dad.
So I just thought the whole him having that would just be a part of him. And then she was going to go through, like, a duende moment. So a
duende transformation.
A DM. But it gets weird because there is a part where Daniel and Miranda are sitting in a room together and Miranda's like, you need to talk to me. Like, something's obviously going on. Something's bothering you.
And
you need to tell me.
She gets agitated. So doesn't she like throw something at him? Because she's like, oh my God,
I think so.
You're being so mean to your mom. Oh, because the mom came in.
Yeah.
And the mom was like, sorry, Miranda, there's no other rooms for you to stay in. There's no other like spaces. It kind of felt like, oh, she wanted Miranda to stay in Daniel's room to maybe like talk to him. Because then she kind of like hinted at him, right? Like, oh, like have fun. Or I don't know what she would say, but she kind of made it obvious that she wanted Miranda to try to get to the reason behind Daniel's sudden change.
And one of the first things that Daniel says to her since they've been there is him just going, who even are you?
Yeah, but doesn't he say in like a really weird, like...
He's just curious. Like, it doesn't sound like someone who's trying to pick a fight. Because her response would have been like, who are you? But she didn't say that because it didn't feel like fitting to the moment. Oh, but one other thing that I wanted to say is that his appearance, he is pale, even though he has very tan skin, but he's very pale, hasn't been outside, and his fingernails are dirt encrusted.
Ew.
Yeah, so digging.
He's been in the trenches.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I didn't like this story, or I want to say it in the way that how it made me feel. I fucking hate duendes. So when it got to the part where like she was asleep in the same room as Daniel, and then she started to hear that someone was there, I was like...
But she would also hear scratches on the walls too.
But there was one that was like, it was... Because the scratches was a continuous thing. But Susanna, which is the Thea, was like, oh, share a room with Daniel because the other room's not ready, which it obviously would have been because, whatever. But there was the night where she just heard a bunch of scratching and she felt as if something was like clawing her brain and scratching the inside of her brain.
Shelly is stressed right now.
I hate that shit.
Yeah.
Because she woke up the next day, fucking Tia Susana pulled out the papas con huevo, and she's like, Tia...
It's not hitting. It's not hitting.
I don't remember what this food's called. No, but she's just kind of like that. She's like so tired. And she feels like it was a dream because she can't remember what happened.
Yeah.
And after that moment, after that first night, then Daniel starts talking. And then he's like, do you remember when we did this? You remember this? And then now it's the opposite. Now it's Miranda who's not talking.
Yeah, and Daniel is more included. And they even wanted to do something fun that day. I don't remember because Daniel was so different now. So obviously the whole family was super excited. They were like, oh my God, let's go over here to this center. Let's go over here. Let's go do this shopping over here. And Miranda is so like depleted. Like she doesn't, like Charlie said, she doesn't remember why. She doesn't remember what happened the night before. But she's just so depleted. She even tells them like, oh, is it okay if I just stay behind? I don't know. I'm just really exhausted. I didn't sleep well. And obviously Susanna, being her tia, she's like, oh, are you okay? Like, what's going on? And so it's just sad because Daniel knew.
But didn't it kind of feel like Susanna knew too?
A little bit.
Because like she apologized so many times. And it felt like the reason she invited them over was just for Miranda to kind of take what was hurting Daniel. Yeah. Because
that wasn't confirmed, but I did think that as well.
Right?
Yeah.
So the last night when they're together, Daniel's like, hey, I made you a drink. And like Miranda's not reacting. But then when he brings the drink over and it has a bunch of mint leaves, now she's like, oh my God, yes. And so she's starts like, eating. Menta. Yeah, she starts eating all this mint. And he's like, oh, yeah, he likes that. So that's what keeps him
chill.
Yeah, keeps him chill. It was that and something else that he likes.
It was just like being in nature, no? Like something with nature.
Yeah. So it was like, yeah, I'm so sorry, but thank you, Miranda, for saving
helping me.
He said for saving me. Yeah. And she was like, I can't hear them eating all these mint.
Yeah, like Miranda at that point didn't give a fuck. No. She was just like, mints.
Keep them coming.
Can you get me more? Because this is some good shit, right?
I do want to read. I'll translate it. But when she fell asleep, she heard a song that was sung by a bunch of kids. A choir of children.
A choir of children? That's fucking scary.
It's in Spanish, but...
Anytime there's like a choir or children, I'm like...
Both?
No, it's scary.
So translated, it says, where is the duende? In the bush, in the wall, in your head. Sorry. In the forest, in the wall, in your head.
There's where the duende lives.
Yeah, there is where the duende lives. What does he do? What does he do? What does the duende do? Steal your memories. Steal the memories of kids. Because that's what the duende needs to live.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and it sucks because she's just like feeling, just clawing in her brain.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems very freaking disgusting. Like, you've ever had an itch that you just
don't
can't
do this to me.
You're like, 'cause I'm itchy.
I hate it. I'm not even a child anymore. I'm 27 and the duende's still gonna come for me. I fucking hate this shit. So when she wakes up the next day, I kind of like how this part's written. She can't even like recognize her mom and dad, so she calls them like man and woman.
Yeah,
we're doing this.
The memories are being stolen.
Yeah, and the man and the woman are saying like, we can't keep Miranda here. She's going through the same thing that Daniel's going through.
Yeah, and they're mad about it.
They
too.
are, and Susanna's just like, you're gonna blame that on what Daniel went through?
It's not even relevant.
Sit down, have some cafecito with extra mint.
Extra mint.
Yeah. It's just in everything. Taco de mint. So like,
wait, why didn't they do that?
I know
the mint should have been on everything.
But they end up taking Miranda home, and on the drive home,
well, they don't take her home. They don't reach home, but they try to take her.
They try to take her home. She still doesn't remember. She's just like, this man and woman took me in their car and we're going somewhere. I'm trying to talk to them, but I can't talk. But then when I guess she realizes what's happening, she starts to like freak out and go like, take me back, take me back.
Yeah, it kind of gave me like Exorcist vibes, you know, where it's like she's completely possessed because of this duende. And then doesn't she also... Okay, because they're driving by a forest, and doesn't she start to have like memories that aren't hers, where it's like, oh my god, I can feel the other children. I feel memories that aren't mine,
and she can hear the children singing along with her voice singing with them.
Yeah,
and I do want to say that last paragraph is the only time she calls the man and the woman mama and papa. So I don't know if she's remembering again, or what's going on there. But I
don't know. Yeah, that's a good, because it says mama and papa hold me tighter as we watch the glowing green dim, as the scent of sulfur dissipates, as the sound of children's voices grow fainter, but I still hear them in the distance singing El Duende's lullaby.
Oh, because I think
somewhere in all of them I recognize my own voice far, far away.
I think it came out of her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it spills from my lips. So yeah, slowly it came out of her, and it's probably just gonna go back to the forest.
Yeah,
because there was no forest, there was no mint. So why is he gonna stay?
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, like, why does he care? I think he just kind of like compiles all of them together. No,
I think
even if they go back to how they were, because I'm sure it would have been cool if she would have said, and I hear Daniel's voice too. That would have been the nail in the coffin.
But I think Daniel passed it on to her.
No, I know, but
right.
But the way that I'm taking this is that, he just has all of these memories that he took from the children.
So you would have wanted Daniel there, like, ooh,
the Hannah Montana. Ooh, whoa, whoa. I don't even fucking know it.
Yeah. I don't fucking know. Daniel, that kind of slap. Fucking Daniel with mints, just like dollar bills.
It's I just want to say that this story like fucked me up too, even if I didn't have a personal experience with a duende like you did. But
it wasn't even mine, it was my mom's.
But I mean, it's still close enough. But I feel like that last part where she could feel or hear her own voice, I was like, oh my god, that's fucking scary.
That is scary. I fucking hate that shit. I hate that shit. I'm trying not to look at that mirror that's right there, because I'm just like, oh god.
You need to get rid of the mirror in here.
It's so, I know. The only mirror to it, it's so fucking tiny.
It's like this big.
Wait, can I tell you something? And this is just a story to share. So my friend moved into an apartment recently, and when she did the walkthrough before she signed the paper, they were like, hey, by the way, there's no mirrors in your bathroom. And she was like, then put mirrors in my bathroom. Like, I'm not going to sign until you put a mirror in my bathroom. And the guy was like, oh, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. So then he hired like a person to put a mirror in the bathroom. And the mirrors got ordered, whatever. And they had gotten a really long mirror because, you know, the front.
Yeah.
And then they got a medicine cabinet. You know, the mirror that like opens and yeah, whatever. So they got those two. But the big mirrors didn't come in the day that the guy was supposed to build. So all he had was a medicine cabinet. And apparently he was really young too. So he was like, I mean, if she wants this mirror. So that whole wall just blank and one little medicine cabinet in the center. And she was like, he built it into my wall. Like, I can't take it out. So now, like, her bathroom is literally, like, one medicine cabinet.
So in front of her sink, what she's looking into is the medicine cabinet.
And it's the same size. She lives next door. It's the same size as my, you know where my huge mirror is? Just imagine where my mirror is in the bathroom, just a little.
Oh my god!
Thank you.
That's a big wall. That's a big space for
Mhm.
just one little medicine cabinet.
Yeah. So she's like, "How am I gonna take my mirror selfies?" Like that, you can see all the blank wall.
It's just really zoomed in.
I don't know why I brought that up, but I just thought that was really funny.
That's hilarious. I feel so bad for your friend.
Yeah, I do too. Well, at least she doesn't have to deal with a duende. So, how did you feel about the duende story?
I feel like this was a solid start to this episode, right? Like it's just a really strong story, and especially because, I mean, it's a prevalent thing in our culture.
It is.
Unfortunately.
And in my life. Just like, you know, something we didn't talk about? Every collection that's in this, or every story that's in this collection, has an art piece that goes with it.
Oh, yeah.
At the beginning of the story.
Cool.
And for this one, it's a picture of Miranda sleeping, and you can see hands coming out of the wall with little mints, with little forest stuff.
Aw, cute.
Just scratching into her brain. Queen.
It's kind of gross, actually.
I love the art pieces. I was too scared to look at them, so I actually went to the library.
I'm just looking at them now.
I was alone, so I was like, I'm going to go somewhere else where people are, so no duende can get me.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So what about you? How did you feel about this story?
I think I would give it like a solid 4. Yeah. It was a good story.
I think I would do the same.
I will say it wasn't my favorite from our reads. But
maybe it's Pata Sola. Stay tuned to find out.
Okay.
Okay, so Dismembered, who wrote it?
Anda Vila Cardinal.
Okay, so here's the summary. Dismembered is about Raquel finding out that her grandmother died brutally in a car accident, but left her the house and a large sum of inheritance. While Raquel remains in her abuela's home, she begins to hear banging on the front door as well as a dragging noise, but she thinks to herself that perhaps this was just her imagination. She quickly learns about an urban legend surrounding Route 116, the route close to her new home where many have suffered from being dismembered. Raquel begins to believe that perhaps one of these souls is trying to get into her home.
You know, I don't know if it's just me. Or maybe it's just like a Latino thing. But why does it always feel like after someone passes away, there's always something that you hear, you know? And it's like, I love my familia, but they really got to go. Because I can't deal with that in my life, in my busy, beautiful life. Hell no. If someone left me a house and I heard banging the first night,
I'm leaving.
Gone.
I'm leaving.
I'm gone. First, I would have called 911. And if they didn't want to take me and they said I was fine, I would do a crime so they can arrest me and like take me away.
Bitch, you're taking me today. Oh my God. It's that deep. You know what's funny? So for this one, did you have a personal connection to this idea of... Yeah, me too. So I remember my mom telling me a story, but honestly, I might butcher it. So I remember her telling me a story of like a family member passing. And this is like an urban legend. It's not like a personal story. And they like would hear dragging noises like at night, right? Whoever was in the house. Whoever was at home would hear dragging noises. And so it kind of reminds me of like the monkey paw when we talked about that. So if I remember correctly, they wanted to see that family member again. And so then they would hear the dragging noises every night. And to the point where when they would finally get to the door, it would never go past that. Like you would never actually know like what happens when they would open the door.
Oh, dear God. Like I can't do it today. Mm-hmm. I have a similar story, and it was told from my mom, because the Duende one, that mom.
Yeah.
My one mom.
How many moms you got?
She just that one. She slay. But she once told me about, it wasn't like our immediate family. It's like my cousin's family. You know what I mean? So like the farther part.
Far enough. Okay.
Yeah. So the grandma, the grandma that was connected by marriage in that family had passed away. Mm-hmm. And my mom had told me that after she passed away, I guess the smallest girl of that family would like constantly just be running around the house, and she would always hear her grandma cooking. And because she always did it anyway. So like she would be running around and she would hear like, oh, mija, check the tortillas. Or like, just like oh, ya está la comida. Oh, this. Oh, puedes sacar arroz or whatever. And she would come running and it's like, oh, no one's here. And she wouldn't think much of it because she was a little girl. She was just like, oh, okay. But yeah.
Oh my God.
She would just hear that. And it's like, Grandma, who you fooling?
We know.
You ain't making food. Yeah.
I'm scared.
God. It's funny because
I'm back.
It's funny because like we all have these stories, and I don't believe in most of them.
Uh-huh. Did they ever tell you about the like Pepito? The Pepito stories? So it's like dumb horror.
Okay,
so
tell me.
For Pepito, it was like he was playing in a cemetery and he stole a toe.
Good for him.
And he goes back home with this toe. I know, literally. And he has this toe, right? Mm-hmm. And I think he tells his family or something, or somebody knows that he has a toe. And they're like, Pepito, like, you can't just steal a dead person's toe. You know what happened.
Oh, Mama.
And then they hear banging on the door.
Hell no. Oh, hell no. This changed. You said it was silly. That ain't silly.
He stole a toe.
And the guy's just like,
give it back, bitch.
Give me my toe back.
That's my favorite toe.
You know how many times I tripped getting here?
Oh my God. Okay, I'm scared. So let's start talking about it. Go ahead, start.
So I think this one we can talk about pretty quickly, but it is centering around, I don't remember her name.
Raquel, no?
Oh, yeah. It is centering around Raquel, whose grandma just passed away in a horrible car accident. The people who were reading the will to her didn't want to say how she died, but Raquel kept going like, no, you got to tell me. You got to tell me.
Yeah, she kept pushing it. I'm not sure why, but I also don't understand why they would tell her. Because I feel like most times if someone were to die brutally, they would want to spare the family from the details.
Yeah. Yeah, they would. They would probably tell.
But they were like, her head is gone. Oh.
Yeah. You remember how you said your grandma slayed? She really slayed.
Yeah.
It was horrible because she basically got pinned and then like I guess the windshield cut her head off. Right?
Yeah, something like that.
And she was like completely like, oh my God, why did they tell me that? And it's like, you asked. Mm-hmm. But they tell her what she gets from her, I guess, the inheritance. Mm-hmm. And she gets...
Also, she was confused because she was like, why am I in the will? Like, how is that possible if she died in an accident, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you would think that she would have planned this way ahead. And that's when they tell her, oh, she actually was sick too. Yep. And she knew, the abuela knew that she had cancer, I believe. Mm-hmm. So that's why she had planned ahead for Raquel to have everything.
And it was $1 million, the house, and like a piece of like land or something.
And her necklace.
That
she like, always wore. But they were like, oh, but we couldn't find it.
Yep. Because she was wearing it during the crash. Mm-hmm. So Raquel stays the first night in the house. And that's when she hears a lot of banging. And all the dogs bark at once.
Oh, yeah. It starts off with the dogs barking.
Mm-hmm. All the dogs.
Yeah. Every single dog in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine. Oh my God.
Hell no, dude. Ugh.
And then that's when she heard dragging. And then she heard the banging on the door. So it was kind of like in order, right? And I don't remember. Does she open the door?
No.
She doesn't.
No, she doesn't.
Why doesn't she? I don't remember.
She's scared.
She's scared?
I think she is. I know she doesn't open it the first time. And then the next day she goes to, or she crashes into her abuela's next door neighbor. And they go out to eat and they talk about this. Go ahead.
The reason why she doesn't open the door is because she was waiting. And then when the banging stopped, she put her ear against the door and she was like, oh, it stopped. And the dog stopped too. So she was like, oh, wow, that was weird. Like a weird.
I hate that.
I think she thought it was her imagination.
Mm-hmm.
But again, sorry, go ahead and explain what happened the day after.
So the day after, she crashes into her grandma's neighbor and they go out to eat together. Mm-hmm. And she starts recounting like what happened to the neighbor. Mm-hmm. I think the neighbor's name is Luna. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. And then while they're talking about it, there's like the waiter at the place they're eating at, like, does like a little prayer and like a little cross. Mm-hmm. And Raquel is like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
What the fuck was that? And they basically tell her that this is this urban, it follows the same beats of an urban legend that everyone in the town knows about.
Mm-hmm. And Luna doesn't really like want to tell her, right?
No, she does not.
Oh, it's just this weird story going around, but don't worry about it.
But the story is called Los Desmembrados, so the dismembered. Mm-hmm. And she talks about it like, yeah, it's silly. Like, it's just dismembered parts of, or dismembered bodies that died at Route 116 that come and basically like fuck around. Yeah. And then Luna's just like, oh yeah, but like, who do we know that's dismembered? Like, there's no one pops in my mind.
Yeah. Why would they even knock on my door? That's weird.
So then she remembers how the grandma died and is like, oh shit, like, don't take it seriously. We're not sure if that's actually what happened. Mm-hmm. So then Luna goes with her to like spend the night at the house. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because Luna at first was like, it might just be kids that are like messing with you. Mm. So then when she's at the house and they hear the banging again, she's like, oh my God, it's real. It's like, I thought you told me it was kids. It's like, nah, that shit too loud. That ain't a kid. Yeah. That sounds horrible. Mm-hmm. And
she's probably like, how the fuck did you ignore this the first time?
And so then the door opens, I think.
Oh, because normally she would lock all of the doors and the windows and everything. And she also remembered that her abuela was super, I guess on top of that, she would also go around locking everything. Mm-hmm. And that night, Raquel forgot to lock the door. Mm-hmm. And that's why the door opened.
First mistake.
I know. And so they wanted to go hide somewhere, right?
Yep.
But then they hear the dragging.
And then they see a body that is like arms that are dragging itself because it doesn't have legs and it has no head. And it's a little weird too because the parts of the body that were missing, Raquel and Luna actually went to where the grandma had died to look for the necklace to see if they had like just found it on the floor,
like on this, like in the street.
But they found a doll that was missing the same body parts that body was missing. Yeah. So she kind of makes that connection and is just looking at the body and then realizes that it's wearing the same clothes that her grandma would wear. Yeah. And
she's like, holy fuck, this is her.
Because around her neck is the necklace. So then Raquel's just not scared anymore.
But Luna is.
Yeah, Luna's freaking out and Raquel's like,
Grandma?
Abuela! Abuelita! Oh my gosh, long time no see. But she goes up.
She should have been like, Abuela, you left me everything? Wait, do you love me? Oh my God.
That necklace looks really nice, by the way. If you didn't want it anymore, I don't know. But the body basically pulls itself towards her, towards Raquel, and takes off the necklace. But it takes it off in such a gross way because it like catches onto the flesh and she's like pulling it off. And she puts it on Raquel, and then the body is like as if it had a head, covers its mouth. Like, oh my God, it's so beautiful, you know? And Raquel's just like really, really happy. And then the body crawls away. The end.
The end. And they lived happily ever after.
Mm-mm. Nope.
And then also she's staying there, right? Because doesn't Luna ask her, like, are you leaving? Or are you going to stay here?
Oh, she said that she was going to stay. Because she feels like her grandma's not going to visit her anymore. Because Luna made, like, do you think she's going to look for her missing parts? And that last paragraph says, I don't know. I sat down beside my friend. I didn't know, but there was one thing I knew for certain. I had found mine. Like her missing part being the necklace.
Yeah.
See, I feel like my mom. This is how my mom would answer. Yeah. This is why I tell you guys to lock the doors and the windows before you go to sleep. I literally can't go to, like, even last night, I remember locking the door when I came back, and I was like, nope, I still got to do my check every single door, even the one I always keep locked. Still check it, check the windows, check everything, check the estufa. Like,
estufa. No, yeah, I agree with you. Like, you just never know.
Hell no.
I don't understand how she could have forgotten that. I feel like I'm always thinking, lock the door, did I lock the door?
Yeah. What would you have done the first night, though, hearing all that knocking?
I think I would have ran to my room, said a prayer, and then left the next morning. I don't think I would have stuck around, honestly. But I'm kind of a chicken, so...
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I would have slept that night.
I don't think I would have either.
I would have been in my room. I would have called someone immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And I would not leave until they came, you know? Mm-hmm. And until they came to the door. Like, I can't, like, I'm not even going to walk outside.
Yeah, because you just never know. She might come get me.
and if I got to the second day and I saw a family member like that.
I think I would need a lot of therapy.
Yeah.
But, I mean.
But Raquel's chill. She's fine. It didn't really bother her.
She's one of the cool girls.
What was the next one? Oh, this story, fave.
Oh,
this is
really?
my favorite story. Because I'm just so like, oh, she shouldn't have done that. She shouldn't have done that.
I would say this one's my favorite too.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like this one was the one that I felt the most like connected to.
I think that's the one I guess for you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
In terms of like, just stories that I've heard before, you know, from my family. Mm-hmm. This one was the one that I felt.
Why you lock your doors.
Yeah, so true. I wouldn't have guessed this was your favorite. Interesting. Okay. Mm-hmm, it's not the pata sola. That's fucked up.
That's what I thought your favorite would have been. That would have been my second guess.
Oh, yeah?
Pata sola. Well, honestly, I didn't even know what that name meant. Now I do.
Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. Don't jump ahead. Okay,
so the next one we are talking about is called Bloodstained Hands Like Yours by Gabriela Martins.
Okay, so...
Martin.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't have an acento, so maybe it is Martins.
Okay.
Anyway, Bloodstained Hands Like Yours is about Olivia and her friend Jenny. Both were orphans, but Jenny was adopted into a family while Olivia was not. And now she's 18. She is forced to survive in the streets. There's word of a creature that appears at night and is slowly killing off other homeless people, gradually getting closer to Olivia.
It's weird because I feel like we could talk about this story pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. Olivia is visiting, right? She doesn't live there anymore. She's visiting.
Yeah.
So she is an orphan. Mm-hmm. And she decided to stay at the orphanage where she used to live. Right?
Isn't she staying in like I don't remember exactly where it was, but it was like a certain spot that was a hot spot for homeless people. It's not the orphanage. It's like maybe it's near it. Right?
No, you're right. It is
because it's on the the street, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why she would always look at that one older lady and was like, "Damn, she has the best blanket."
Okay. I misunderstood. You're right. She is staying there because she recognizes the spot, and it's somewhere because so many homeless people go through there. Like, she really doesn't know anyone, but she's like, "But I know everyone." Mm-hmm. You know, it's that type of area.
Yeah.
But this old lady, her name is Carioca. She basically tells her, like, you gotta go because remember that one dude, the one we hated because he always ate all the food. He's gone.
Dead,
or he's missing. No, he is dead because she says that what's his name again? The Corpo Seco like ripped him apart.
Corpo Seco is
Isn't
the
that
dried body.
Yeah. Isn't that his name, though?
Probably, I believe.
Yeah,
it.
Corpo Seco. Corpo Seco.
Yeah, so dry body is his name.
It's so funny because, like, if you don't know Spanish, it's like, ooh, that's a scary
Corpo
name.
Seco?
Oh, pata sola. You know? So
don't talk about pata sola yet.
even that one story we read last week, the one with the Wesuda. That's just like the bony lady, you know. So it's like it sounds scary. Yeah, this is the same thing I was telling you before we started filming. Like, I love Spanish nicknames because they can literally, it could just be a dude named Tyler, and it's like almohada.
It's because one day Tyler just forgot to bring an almohada to sleep over. It's like
that's how.
And then you call him almohada for the rest of his life.
That's how nicknames start, and it's so like. Because one of my friends, I remember I went to her house and they call her Kach. And I'm just like, what? That's nothing like your name at all. And I never asked, but I just heard her like Kach. That's just her name. And the reason they call her that is because when she smiles, her cheeks go up. And cachetes used to be her nickname, but they just got tired of saying the whole thing. So they call her Kach.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, that's the cutest thing I've ever heard.
That is actually really cute.
I love that. I want to give a nickname that is so sentimental like that. Give me a nickname. Go. Gotch.
I'm going to call you Chili. Oh, my God.
Okay, thank you.
Because my phone will autocorrect your name to Chili. I'm not going to call you that.
Thank you. I hate that.
I know you do. That's why I just said it.
You know what? We'll circle back. Okay.
I don't know. What would you nickname me?
I don't know. I like your name, so I would just call you Yahaira.
Aww, I like your name too.
But if I had to change it, no, I'm just kidding.
But if I had to change it,
I like pull out
also
a list.
your name is kind of a mouthful, so
It's funny because I remember this one time at work. There was this one of my coworkers was like, I was on the phone with someone and like she gave me her name, like the spelling of her name, like her email. And she was like, and I had no idea how to pronounce her name. So the whole time she was just like, yeah, sweetie. Yeah, bud. You know, like,
oh my God.
And she spelled it out. And I was like, it's Yahaira. And she was like, no, that sounds wrong. And I was like, no, it's literally Yahaira. It's spelled Yahaira. So it's Yahaira. And she was like, that doesn't sound like a real name.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know someone named Yahaira.
Oh, you know someone?
Yeah, just you know, it's like a whatever.
Someone?
It's like a whatever.
Just
you know?
someone
just
distantly.
De pasada.
I don't know her that well, just like a little bit.
She comes to my house sometimes. Like, oh,
That's kind of weird, actually.
I know so many Yahairas. It's such a common
Really?
name. Yeah, but I know them as like their middle name is Yahaira.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, I mean, I have met a couple other Yahairas, but I don't think it's like super common. So when it happens, we both kind of look at each other like, there can only be one. Sorry.
It's funny because Chelly's a common nickname for not just my name, but other names.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like we're all there.
Yeah. But I mean, I like your name.
Thank you.
I've always liked your name, and I told you that. You remember I told you that, and you were like, no.
When I was like, I want to go back to college. No one uses my real name anymore. And that was the only place where they do. Because even at work, they call me by my nickname. So I just have that nowhere.
Wait, no, they don't.
Yeah.
You said that they don't.
Now they do.
Oh.
It changed after our Disney trip when one of them was like, what do I call you? And I was like, just call me this. And now they do. That's what they call me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that.
That being said, Corpo Seco.
Okay,
I don't know how we switched the subject. But it turns out.
I can't with you. Okay, start over. Go on.
Okay. So Corpo Seco, sorry to change the subject so much. He is out here killing. And Carioca.
Of course it has to be homeless people, right? Because it's like he knows that the police aren't gonna give a fuck. They're gonna be like, damn, that's rough.
That's very Mexico, isn't it? I fucking hate that.
I hate that too.
So Carioca told Olivia to leave and she was like, okay, I'm gonna go visit Jenny or whatever. Which is her friend. And she basically tells her friend, like, you've heard of Corpo Seco? I'm going to kill that bitch.
Yeah.
I am going to kill that
Olivia is immediately determined, though, even when she first hears about Corpo Seco. Because she's like, you know what? He's killing everyone. I'm going to kill him back.
But then, but it's weird because she's very, like, he's trying to kill me though. Like that's what she believes that. But then in that house, Jenny's dog ends up dying. And so she feels bad because it's like, I just told you I want to kill Corpo Seco, but
I think it's my fault.
And so then she leaves back to where Carioca is. And then Corpo Seco kills Carioca. And there's a point where Olivia's like facing Corpo Seco and she's like, why not me? Like, why aren't you taking me? And he's like, people like us, our biggest punishment is being alive. Yeah. Like, that's our biggest suffering. So peace out. And he leaves.
And he wisps away.
Corpo Seco, why?
Why? Yeah.
Dude, that sucks. I kind of felt, I liked that idea because it didn't occur to me that she was waiting for it until he said it. Yeah. But she was just kind of like, where's my death?
Yeah. Why is he coming after me? I mean, I'm very killable. I'm just saying. I'm also homeless, if you haven't noticed.
I'm literally right here.
Yeah, she wanted to throw down with him.
But then she noticed that Corpo Seco, because he said that, he is killing everyone who matters to her. So she immediately goes to Jenny's place, which, by the way, her and Jenny,
they kind of love each other a little bit.
Yeah. Well, more than love, they like each other.
Love is more than like.
So,
hold on.
So when she goes over, her and Jenny, she tells Jenny, like, I have to kill him because he's killing everyone that I care about around me. And then Corpo Seco shows up and puts, like, his hand on Jenny's throat. And I didn't understand this part at all. How does the story end?
So Jenny grabs Jenny grabs a gun, no?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Una pistola. Sorry. I'm really bad at, like,
una.
Yeah.
Or la. Basically what happens is he's trying to attack Jenny, and Jenny grabbed the gun that her adopted father had. Yep. And somehow, I don't remember exactly, but through the struggle of everything, Olivia took the gun and shoots him. Because I remember she aims it and doesn't Jenny like duck or something. Yeah. And then she shoots at Corpo Seco. And I think that...
But then it said like both of them exploded.
Both of them?
That's what it said. It was like, and then both of them exploded. The end. Hold on. I'm going to find that line for you. Together, father and daughter explode. The monster and human run towards each other, and there's light and darkness, so much fire that Jenny pushed to the corner on her knees. But there's only one standing in the end. Oh, okay. And then she shoots. Mm-hmm. And then she feels freedom. Mm-hmm. It's funny because I was like, damn, is this the only one that we've read so far that has a happy ending? Because she did it. She killed Corpo Seco.
She was determined. I love that. I love that she was so determined. She had a goal in mind.
And she did it.
She had her what is that called? Oh my God. What is that called? Dream? No. When people like vision board. Yes. Her vision board.
All Corpo Seco.
Exactly. She was like,
it's just like dry jerky, like machaca just on a board.
She's like, this is how I'm gonna kill him. Oh my God.
Love that for her. She really did it. Honestly, a solid story. Wouldn't say it's my fave. I think I would just give it a solid 3 out of 5.
We've been reading a lot of horror, and I needed a little bit of romance. Even though Corpo Seco was a little intimidating. Do you have any story that relates to Corpo Seco?
Just the fact that, like, not that I relate to it, but the whole killing of the homeless or killing like poor people, that's a very common thing in Mexico.
Like in stories?
Yeah. Or just in the stories that my Mexican family members tell me. Because the part of Mexico that we're from is a very poor area. Yeah. So there's like a lot of like political issues. Yeah. Tension there. And like, you know. Okay. Yeah. So I liked it. And I feel like all of these stories, I don't know. I feel like we don't read enough Latino authors that when we do, it kind of shocks me when I'm like, wow, how do they know that? And it's like, they've been through it.
Wait, who told them?
I know. So let's just talk about pata sola because this might take us a while.
Oh, okay.
Solamente tiene una pata. Una pata or un pata?
Una pata.
Not because un pato is a duck. Okay. So it wouldn't be that.
Anyway, so wait, can I just say, Chelly, I love you so much.
Thank you.
We were talking about which stories we were going to talk about during this episode. Mm-hmm. And then I said pata sola. And she was like, why is it called pata sola? And then it just hit you. Suddenly you're like, oh, because it's just one foot.
She just has one foot. That's so funny. Did I tell you? You remember Niles?
Yeah.
Remember Niles?
Yeah.
I also have a flashback.
It's just Niles with the camera.
I know.
It was like 1 or 2 episodes.
I know.
Oh, I don't remember actually.
It was just 2. It was Shadow and Bone and Bridgerton.
It might have been more. I'm not sure.
And Banana Fish. She was there for our first filming of Banana Fish.
We've had many.
Okay. Anyway, she used to, because my grandpa's nickname is Tito. Uh-huh. And he really likes, instead of abuelo, we call him papa. Mm-hmm. But it's just like,
why is that a thing?
I don't know. But it was funny because I had an abuelito and he was papa. But then I have my dad who's papi. Like, it's different.
Yeah.
So he would just go by papatito, Mm-hmm. And she could not say that when she was younger. This was around when she was like 3. Uh-huh. So she would just call him Patito.
Oh, wait, that is so
Which
cute.
means little ducky.
Yeah, that is so cute.
So she still calls him that. Like when they call and I hear them talking, she's like, oh, hi, Patito.
Oh, that is so adorable.
Thank you.
I love that.
I know.
Yeah, so I also have like grandparents who want us to say like mama or papa or whatever. Yeah. But to me, I don't do it for them because we're not like super close.
Yeah.
I feel like I would only do it if maybe they helped raise me or were there for me a lot.
I get it.
Because, I don't know, it's like this whole thing, right? Oh my God.
Well, even with that patito, mm-hmm. I don't call him that. I call him now I just call him abuelo. Mm-hmm. And then from that side, I call abuela. But then the other side, I call abuelita and abuelito.
Yeah, it's a little bit more like loving, kind of.
What do you call your parents?
Sup?
Hey,
you.
You over there. Dude, if I did that, I'd be gone.
I call my dad Pa. Like I say, hi, Pa. Like just mm-hmm. Pa. And with my mom, I call her Ma.
Exactly like that. That's so funny.
Every time.
Did you know that's a country thing? Because I remember when I was talking, because my dad, I call him Papi, mm-hmm. which is like the equivalent of daddy, I guess.
Yeah, so my mom, every time she addresses like, oh, go tell your dad this, mm-hmm. she'll say daddy, like daddy, or papi. Go tell mm-hmm. your daddy this. And I'm like, no.
That's my father.
That's my padre, okay?
It's funny because to me, it's just like, oh, it's just papi. It's not a big deal.
It's not weird. It's not weird.
So I would either call him papi or pa. But then I remember, because pa was like, sometimes I usually called him papi. Uh-huh. But then my mom, I used to just call her ma. Uh-huh. And I would go out and be like, oh yeah, ma told me to do this. Oh, my ma told me to say this or whatever. Uh-huh. And one of my friends was like, why do you say it like that? I was like, what do you mean? And it's because I come from like a country family. Uh-huh. So that's how you say it if you're from the country. Oh. So that's the same as ma and pa.
Oh.
And I didn't know that.
Really?
And I felt so like, who are you to judge me how I call my mother?
I would never call her mommy. I usually would never say mommy. I would say ma. Yeah. I would also say
Madre
ma.
mía. Yeah.
Madre mía. ¿Qué estás en el cielo? Just start praying.
Amen.
Yeah, no, I think I just say pa or ma or mom or dad.
I'd never say mom or dad.
You never say mom or dad?
Mm-mm. Not in this religious household.
It's not religious at all.
So
wait, that was the point that I wanted to make though.
Okay, go ahead.
Now we're just going
patito. Yeah.
Now we're just going on a tangent. But I do have this uncle. Mm-hmm. who he gets mad, like he gets upset if he hears somebody call, like, let's say for example my mom. Let me say that again. I do have an uncle where he gets kind of like weirded out if my mom's grandchildren call her ma, if they ever call her ma, and he's like, why do you call her ma? That's your grandma, that's your abuela.
Dude, that's so funny because I don't know, it's the stories that bring it out of us, you know. Yeah. But I have this one tia whose kid, so my cousin had a kid, and then my cousin was like, she's like the mother, but she's also a dentist, so she's just never home because you know the dentist life is a hard life. The grind,
dude, that's like 8 to 8.
So she's never home. But she like raises her kid, but obviously not like for most of the day.
Yeah.
So my tia, which is the grandma of the kid, raises the kid, and the kid hears all of the other kids call her ma. So the kid calls her ma.
Yeah.
So then she hears my tia calling her mom by her name. So she calls her mom by her name.
Oh.
So right now that kid is around, I think she's 13 now. And she still calls her mom by her name.
Really?
And her grandma, ma.
No way.
Yeah.
Do you think you would have a problem with that? Like if it was your kids?
I don't know, because to me personally, I think I would be more in my kid's life.
More in their life, yeah.
Or at least enough to like, you know, yeah. And I don't know, even in my job, we change our names depending on who we're standing in front of. So like, it's easy for me to switch. So if I had a child, I would expect you to call me mom.
Yeah.
Not in like a weird way, unless but you know what I mean?
I can call you mom. Wait.
But it's kind of like if you had a kid, I would just be like, oh yeah, I was just talking to your mom. Like, you know, I wouldn't say.
Oh, yeah. I get what you mean. What you mean. Yeah, I would say mom instead of whatever the name is.
And then if your kid was like, isn't that Yahira? I'd be like, shut
up.
And you're like, she gets it. No, but I would just be like, oh no, that's mom.
Yeah.
You know?
Call her mom.
I dare you.
All right. Let's get into who wrote La Pata Sola?
Dude, you know what? Wait, hold on. You know what really would fit the moment? If we just got frijoles, because I haven't made some in a while, and just started cleaning them while we talk. You know?
Dude.
Doesn't it give the vibe? I'll grab it.
Don't stop me. I will.
Okay, so
we're just knitting.
Knitting with our like fucking aprons. You're knitting, I'm cleaning frijoles. Tell you about the tea.
Oh my god.
Okay, the té. So, La Pata Sola is from Raquel Marie, and she wrote this story. I don't know why I had to explain that. Okay, so let's just talk about this story. This has to do with our main character, whose name is Elena. Her and her boyfriend Eddie are going on like this school retreat, like a camping thing.
Like a camping thing, yeah.
And it's for their senior camping trip. So her and her boyfriend are known as like the perfect couple.
Yeah.
Like everyone apparently like
ships them. They're like, oh my god, they're goals.
But more Eddie. Like Eddie's like the perfect boyfriend. Oh my god, he's a football player. He's all of this and more. And it's good. But then Elena kind of explains it like it hasn't been the same ever since I came out. So she came out. She doesn't say what she came out as. But she
made like a tweet, right? Like basically accepting that she's queer.
Yeah, and that she's excited to celebrate Pride Month now that she's queer. But then, like, in her mind, she was like, I had the conversation with him. Like, I told him, even though I'm queer, it doesn't change that I love you. It's just, this is who I am.
Yeah.
But then there was, like, a lot of talk that came out after that tweet with, like, rumors of her sleeping with someone else and rumors that her best friend, who is a lesbian and has a girlfriend, might have turned her.
Oh, yeah.
So there's all these rumors, but Eddie and Elena don't talk about it.
Yeah, but from the start, you can tell that Eddie's very distant with her.
I hate it.
It's like he's not even there anymore. He's not into the relationship. So it just makes me wonder, like, why did he stick around if he had such an issue with her coming out as queer?
I feel like it was more just that he didn't want to lose. You know what I mean? Because he ignores her the whole time they're at the camping place, and then she decides
he doesn't even want to sit next to her.
No.
That to me, red flag.
Hell no. And so when they are at the camping place, at the camping grounds, there's a point where he walks away, and I know she tells a story, but I want to say this part first.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's a point where he walks away and she follows him and is like, hey, I need a flashlight. And then he answers like, oh, well, I was grabbing it. And she was like, oh, so you did hear me and you just let me walk in the dark. And then he's like, oh my God, you're always like this. Like, you're literally trying to start a fight. I'm trying to be a good boyfriend and whatever. Yeah. And then she was like, no, what I wanted. And she's like, and he like cuts her off and is like, I hate when you do that, when you don't finish your sentences. And just like is so mean to her. Dude, I would have left.
But it's weird because isn't it right after that he like kisses her in a very heated moment and she's just like what the fuck? And she pushes him away and then he gets even more mad. He's just like, you know what? Fuck this.
But he continues to try. Remember, it's not until she starts thrashing where he's like, I don't get you. Like, tell me, who turned you? Who turned? And she was like, what are you talking about? It's like, yeah, because everyone's talking about how you're the slut and I'm the idiot. And she was like, why would you say that? Like that, what are you talking about? And so he leaves and she sees his phone in which there's a text message that there was a girl that wants to meet him in the forest.
Yeah.
And he leaves. So she's like, that's where he's going.
That fucking bitch.
So before that, she did have a conversation with all of the seniors, basically, that she has a really good, scary story of an urban legend of La Pata Sola. You want to talk about it?
I don't remember it that well.
Well, solamente tiene una pata.
Una pata. One foot.
This 1 foot queen. So it's basically about a lady who was really in love with her husband, but then her husband accused her of cheating because she was so pretty. Like that's what it was.
Okay.
So then I think her husband just left her to die.
Yeah.
And she did die. She got eaten by the animals there. That her leg got eaten and she just died. And then I guess nature felt bad for her. So it was like, any cheating bitch that comes through here, I'll eat that bitch for you.
Oh my God.
So then it gave her the power
Jennifer's
to eat
body.
Bitches. Yeah. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Okay.
So Pata Sola eats cheating men.
Honestly, I get it.
Kind of a queen.
I'm not going to hold it against her.
Are we upset? No.
But it's funny because that's such a scary premise. And even after she tells the story, everyone's just kind of like, so what's for dinner?
Yeah.
Like, no one laughed. No one like did the ooh, or no one had a reaction. It was just scary. And it's kind of funny because when she told it, I don't know if you felt the same, but if I were her friends hearing the story and I knew about the rumors they were saying about her, I'd be like, everyone's gonna talk.
Yeah.
Like with you telling the story and you and your boyfriend not talking to each other.
But I think that's why she made it like such a point, right? To say like, oh, but the wife never cheated on him. Even though he thought she did, she never would have because she loved him so much. I do remember that actually because she made it such a like a point.
And I think even Eddie
brings it up, right?
Yeah, he brings it up like, why would you say that?
Why would you say it like that?
Say that, beba.
I'm mad at you now.
So then she goes to her friends and basically says like, Eddie's a cheating bitch. I think.
But this is when Eddie already like goes off into the forest, right? Because he needs to like cool off.
And then all of her friends were like, we'll come with you. We'll confront him with you. And she's like, no, you got to cover for me because that's too many people gone. So I'll be back in an hour. And they're like, okay, we'll only cover you for an hour. And then when she goes, she sees Eddie just being torn apart by like a corpse with one leg. Pata sola.
Pata sola. How did you feel about him being torn apart?
So I kept, because like,
hello?
I don't want to say it was right, but while he was being torn apart and she was just in shock, and then Pata Sola turned kind of pretty for a moment, but then turned back to what she was. I loved that fucking Elena was like, okay, I'll leave you to it.
Yeah. Yeah, she really was. She was like, you know what? I feel like I interrupted something. My bad.
I'll leave. I fucking love that.
Yeah.
That was such a good ending to a story because fuck Eddie.
Wait, can I read the last?
Yes.
Well, I'll read the last two. Whatever, I'm going to read this. It says, the rumors won't die with him. They will likely grow. But as I walk back to camp, leaving behind the resumed wet sounds of tearing flesh, I don't fear the darkness surrounding me. I thank it. I thought the ending was really good, too.
Dude, Pata Sola. This is my second favorite.
She's that bitch. She'll
She'll
always be that bitch.
Another banger. Another 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Dude, it was so good.
I don't think I'd give it a 5. I think I'd give it a 4.
I would give it a 5. Because she
That
only
was
has
really
one
good,
pata.
Oh
And
my
I feel
God.
really bad for her.
I do love that it gave me like Jennifer's body vibes. Like her, well, specifically her going after cheating men.
Oh my God.
I love that.
Same. I just remembered why we went off on our tangent about nicknames and what we call our parents. It's because her name was Pata Sola.
Yeah.
That's why we talked about that for 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but I do want to say that I also just love the vibes of the main character being like, fuck it.
Yeah.
He was the one that was acting like a bitch. I fucking love that. I wonder what's going to happen, though. Like, I wish I would have seen the aftermath of the teacher going like, I'm missing someone.
Well, I feel like because there's already rumors going around,
Yeah.
the rumors are just going to grow. And then I don't know who Eddie was talking to, like that he was going to meet at the forest. But I feel...
Pata Sola has a Tinder.
Oh my God. I knew it. I knew it. She may have one foot, but she has her hands.
Yeah.
Wait.
And her heart. But that's so like, oh my God. He's so gross. Because if you think about it too, if he didn't know who she was, I hate that he was so willing. Because it's like you're getting mad at your girlfriend for supposedly cheating and you're going to go cheat.
Yeah.
Like that's so
But that's
dumb.
usually how it happens though. The people who are always accusing you of cheating are most likely cheating. It's because they know that if they're doing it, you would probably do it too.
I hate it. Oh my God.
I don't know what my second favorite one is because I feel like I really like Duende and this one. So I feel like they would both be 4s.
I like Duende, but I feel like Duende's too close to home.
And it's just too much.
Too in the walls. Like,
Yeah.
I can't. Hell no. I'm not even going to touch it. Because if something scratches back, I'm leaving.
I'm gone.
Dude. I hate it too because, like, growing up in a very Hispanic family, you know house settling noises? Like, you know, sometimes your house just makes a noise.
Yeah.
Literally, my grandma would be like, she's here.
Oh
I'm just
my
like,
God.
no, grandma.
I would be so scared.
Hell no. But that's what, it's like such a big, like, no, yeah, that's the reason. I don't know, there's just so many, like, people in our culture.
What's the scariest story you've been told by your family?
I'm not doing that. Okay. But don't get scared.
I'm already scared.
Because it's just a story. It's just a story.
If I say that enough times, then I'll believe
You can tell me when to stop. But when we bought this house,
Okay.
and we did the walkthrough, there was not, like, this house was, like, stripped clean. So it didn't have tiles. It didn't have carpet. It was just all sticky for, like, whatever was there last. I don't think our garage was there. Like, well, you know, the 2 rooms now? That used to be a garage. The garage door wasn't there, so it was just all open.
Okay.
And just, like, whatever. But the house was still intact. And a family member of mine, I'm not going to say who, a family member of mine was walking around the house and looked at the bathroom mirror and then, like, bent down to, like, wash his face and then looked up and saw, like, someone standing behind him. And then he turned around and no one was there, and then no one was in the mirror.
Oh my God.
And then, like, ever since then, like, he would hear, like, just walking for a bit. But, like, then it just stopped when our family started to, like, settle here.
They're like, God, I'm being evicted.
But that was, I know, but that was for, like, a couple of months.
Really? And you never heard anything?
Well, I didn't hear about that until, like I was an adult. I was like, why the fuck didn't you tell me? But I was also, like, 5 when we moved here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Damn, that's really scary.
That's the scariest thing I've ever heard. Because it's too close to home. It is home. But I feel like if I need to justify it, I feel like for me, it felt like whoever lived here before was just checking to make sure that the owners were going to take care of the place.
Okay.
And then
that's why they left.
Yeah, because they were like, oh, they're chill.
They're kind of nice, actually.
Yeah.
I kind of love them.
That's what I feel.
Okay.
It didn't feel like it was
anything bad, I guess.
Yeah, because you know how you can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking ghost podcast, but it's just like we grew up in such a for both of us. I don't know about you, but for me, I grew up in such a spiritual family that we just believe in like, oh, it's just good energy and bad energy.
No, yeah, same.
And if you give good energy, then that's fine. But if you feel bad energy, then you're supposed to ignore it.
Yeah.
Or just give more good energy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Yeah.
Damn. I didn't think you were gonna tell me a story here.
That's what I told you. That's the one I remember the most.
Oh, okay. See, I was thinking like a story that was passed down generations to generations.
No, my family's so in the moment.
Oh, okay.
My mom had so many of them.
Really?
Yeah, but she was never scared about it. She's like, just a Tuesday.
My dad isn't really scared of it either. He's very like, I think my dad is more of a skeptic. But he says that, if anyone ever sees anything, like, it's just in your head. Like, just whatever, you know?
I believe that. I believe that so much because I remember my dad told me a story once that was like, this is such a, like, atheist story, which is so funny because he's so religious. But he once told me a story about, like, a guy who was in a shipwreck and just got like washed away to an island, and everyone at that island, or no, there was no one at that island. It was just him, and he was looking for like, you know, materials to like call for help and everything. And he found a really shiny rock, like just looked like a diamond type rock. And so he just kept it everywhere with him. And then after that, he like, he found food, he found shelter, he found that. So then he was like, it's the rock. And then I think he gets saved at the end. And when he's like walking away with the rock, it falls and it just cracks. And he was like, oh, it's just a rock, you know? And so like the point of the story is like he put so much belief towards nothing that he made it a god, you know? And that's sometimes people, like we can put so much belief towards a thing that's not even what we think it is. But because we think it is. Type
right. I mean, definitely. And it's really scary because you start seeing patterns. Yeah. I feel like people just naturally want to see patterns. And so him having, you know, that string of good luck. Yeah. And then he just kind of like connected it to the rock. He was like, damn, you know what? Ever since I found this rock, God loves me.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever experienced anything scary personally. Thank God.
None of your family has?
Well, my mom told me a story once where they were living in like, I don't remember where exactly, but it was like either an apartment or like a small house. And at this time, my sister was small, and I think my sister's the eldest, and then the one under that is my brother, and I think he was a baby. So
before you.
So this is before me. I wasn't even a thought yet.
Before you hire.
Yeah. So my mom told me that one time my sister would always mention like a lady walking around, and like that it was really cold in this like certain area of the apartment house, whatever it was. And my mom was like, no, there's no way. Like, I don't think so. She would tell her like, no, you're just imagining it. Like, it's fine. It's nothing. And so one day my mom said she was washing the dishes and that she felt like movement behind her. But she said she felt like suddenly really cold. And so she was like, for some reason, she heard like the door like creak. So she was like, oh, my daughter, my sister's name is Cynthia. So she was like, oh, Cynthia's probably went into the room. So she like turns around. She's like looking around. She can't find her. She goes into the room and she like feels like really, really cold. And so she comes back out. She's like looking for her, calling for Cynthia. And then she sees her like she was playing outside the whole time. Like she was like,
and then your mom immediately packed up and moved.
She was like, fuck this shit, I'm out.
It's funny because knowing your mom, I feel like she would just be like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, well, it's funny that you say that because I think back then she would have, but now she gets so scared so easily. I think it comes with age. because for a while there, she didn't like sleeping alone. Like if my dad,
remember you told me that.
Yeah, so if my dad ever had to work overnight, 'cause sometimes that happens, like he leaves at midnight, comes back at like 4 a.m, she would leave the door open, light on, and then she tells me like she has trouble sleeping because she feels like she sometimes has dreams of my tío who passed away.
Yeah.
Like sometimes she has dreams of that, or I don't know, it's just like thoughts, right, that are like keeping her up at night. And so sometimes I would go in there and like sleep in the same bed. I'm like, okay, fine. Let me do a solid. It's funny because every time that happens, she's like, oh my God, I slept so good last night. But for me personally, I've never had that experience. I do have a lot of like sleep paralysis experience though.
Oh, I do.
And they're really bad.
I know, mine are too. But now I feel, because you could feel when you're about to go in it and about to see something.
Yeah, but I feel like when I feel that, I can't get out of it. Even when I'm like, well, I've gone out of it maybe twice.
Okay.
But I feel like my odds, it's like hit or miss, you know?
It's so funny because for me, I only ever get sleep paralysis when I'm super stressed out. And you know how it's been recently.
Yeah, you've been
I've been super stressed out. So when I feel it, it's because I'm sleeping on my back. And it's because of my stress. And I can feel myself get heavy and my like breath get like super like you're asleep, basically. Yeah. And then when I feel it, like when I feel like I'm already in dream state, something dreamlike is about to happen. Because for me, it's like there was this one instance where when my bed used to be here in this house, it was raining outside. And I was just aware that it was raining. And then when I started getting into sleep paralysis, I was like, where'd I leave the shopping cart? Like, that was just like my first thought. And then I was already in that dream. And when I felt that, I was like, nope, no. I need to get out of it. And then I just like, I move my shoulder.
Oh, God.
And I like force it. Because you know how it's like, oh, I don't want to move.
It's like dead weight. Yeah.
Yeah. I like force my shoulder to move. And then I just kind of sit for a bit, like just sit up and then let it pass. And then I go to sleep, but I go to sleep the other way.
I feel like I get it no matter what sleeping position I'm in.
Really?
Yeah. Can I tell you the scariest one?
Yes. Let me hold your hand.
Okay, so this was when I was living in an apartment with 2 bedrooms. So it was 2 people in each room, right? So it was me. Yeah. Okay. It was me and my roommate, and then in the other room it was 2 other girls. So let me set up how the room was. Okay. So our beds were against like near the window on one wall, and then on my like end of the bed, I had my TV. Do you remember my gaming stand? And then I had my TV on it. So it's kind of confusing, but the wall kind of like ended right when my TV ended, right? So then there was like a little hallway. Well, not a hallway, but like the closet was there. And then on that other side, it was the sinks.
Yes.
So we had the sink and then the door and then the bathroom. So I could see into like the sink area, right? And so my roommate and I, we had this idea like, oh, let's put a curtain up right there to block out like if one of us gets up to wash our hands or do our hair or whatever. So we had a curtain right there. Yep. But I could still see the curtain, right? Where my bed is. So in my sleep paralysis, it was dark and the TV was on and it was really loud. Yeah. Like I think I was watching in my sleep paralysis is not really happening, but I think I was watching Supernatural or something because I remember hearing male voices and in my head I was like, oh, I must have left it on when I was watching Supernatural, whatever. And it got progressively louder, like the volume, right? So then I felt a dip on the end of my bed and I like looked and like again my body felt really heavy and I couldn't really move and I don't think I realized that I was in like sleep paralysis. I feel like this was kind of like a mix between like a vivid dream and sleep paralysis because I could not fucking move. Yeah. And so I looked to what like made the little like what was on my bed, I guess. And it was my not my direct roommate, but the one in the other room. Yeah. So she sat down, but her back was to me. And she was kind of like looking at me, but like kind of like off of the shoulder. Oh, no. And she was kind of like looking at me really weird. And her name was Marina, I think.
Is this the one that had the toaster experience?
No. Oh my God, you remember that?
Of course I do.
No, it wasn't her. Oh my God, that's another one. But anyway, so I think her name was Marina, but I could be wrong. I'm just going to call her Marina. Okay. So Marina was looking at me like across or off of her shoulder, and she whispered to me. She was like, "It's too loud," which I don't know how I heard her when it was so fucking loud, but I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Like I started apologizing. I'm like, "I'm so sorry. I'll turn it down," but I couldn't fucking move.
Yeah.
And she was like, "It's too loud." Like she kept repeating that, and I was like, "I'm trying, girl, but I can't move.
Marina,
I can't move. SOS, girl." And so I look over on like the side to where like the sink would be, and the curtain was drawn on all the way down, so I could see what was there. And I just see the silhouettes of my other roommates, so the one that was directly in my room and the one who was in the other room, and they were both laughing. And I was just like, I looked at them and I was like, why are they laughing? Like, I don't understand. And so I got at this point, I was freaking out because I couldn't move.
Yeah.
And I remember I struggled so much to the point where like I was sweating. Like, I was struggling so much to move. And it was so scary because I started feeling hands all over me, like just grabbing me, like holding me down on the bed as I kept trying to fucking move.
Hell no.
And I remember when I broke out of it, when I was awake, or I think I was awake, there was nothing in my room. Not even the TV was on or anything. And I was like, oh my God, I need to stay up for a little bit. Like I need to make sure I stay up for a little bit. But then I just felt my body heavy again.
Yeah.
And I just started feeling hands all over me again. And it was like a loop. I don't know if you feel that too, where it's like you feel like you finally moved, but you haven't. You just think you did.
Yep.
It was so fucking scary.
Did you tell your roommates?
No. No, I didn't tell them that. They would probably be like, what the fuck? The toaster.
Marina's like, yeah, I did go in there.
That actually did happen.
Yeah.
Wait.
And they were laughing because Supernatural was really funny at that point.
It was in the beginning when it was hilarious. Oh my God. When it was a comedy.
I know.
Wait, can I just say the toaster experience really fast because
Yeah.
you brought it up? So
I have one I want to bring up. I know this is the whole
episode is so long. It doesn't matter. Or should we save it for the next one? What do you think?
No, I want to hear the toaster story.
Okay, so basically what happened, this is another roommate though. This same apartment but different roommate.
The year before.
Yeah, or the year after. I can't remember anymore. But lights went out and my direct roommate texted me and she was like, "Hey, are you home? Because I don't want to get home and the lights are out." And I was like, "Oh, girl, don't worry. I'll head right over," because I don't even know what I was doing. So all four of us were just hanging out in the living room while the lights were out. And we started telling each other like scary stories, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the girls, and it's so funny to think about it now, but she was just like hardcore atheist. Like she didn't believe in anything. Yeah. And I was like, well, I mean, I'm more of like in the middle. I'm more like, well, you just never know, right? Like who are we to say like what actually happens? So I asked her, I was like, so have you ever had an experience before that's like, you know, supernatural or ghost-like or whatever? And she was like, actually, I have. And so she said, it's such a small, like, short story, but whatever. So she said that one time she went to go make breakfast, and I don't think it was at this apartment, or it might have been at, like, her home, like her family home. And so she went to make toast, and I think she was, like, doing her own thing when suddenly she saw, like, a demonic face in this toaster, like, staring back at her. And it was one of those where, like, you look at it, you look away, you look back, and it's gone. And she's such a, like, atheist that she was like, no, I know what I saw. And
yeah, because she would have dismissed it.
Yeah, like if she wasn't 100% sure, I don't think she would ever bring that up. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, that's scary.
I don't want to live with you anymore.
Actually, can you move out?
Hell no.
Yeah, no, fuck that. But yeah, what was the story you wanted to
What
say?
you reminded me, because mine is more a vivid dream, because I don't think it was a lucid one or sleep paralysis. But when I was younger, I used to have, like, reoccurring people in my dream.
Oh, my God. I remember when you told me this. Yes. Like, and then you asked a dream person what that meant, no?
Yeah. And he was just like, I'm just taking care of you, you know? So, like, throughout my life, there was just this one guy who I don't know would show up to my dream, and he would just kind of talk to me. And throughout my life, because it stopped when I was, like, 16, and it started when I was probably, like, 8. Throughout my life, he would just talk to me about what was going on in my life and ask me about it, but then take part in my dreams. So he would be like, how are you doing? But let's go to the mystery machine and go, like, you know, whatever. So he would just help me. So he was in it. And he was like leading me somewhere. He's like, come on, let's go. And we were in the We were in the Old West, and he opens like, you know, the bar like doors in the Old West when you push it and it's just two little flaps of a door.
Oh, yeah. Huh?
So he pushes it and he's like, we're here. And everyone's just like, hell yeah. Oh my God, Chelly's here. The party started. And they play music. And we're like dancing on the tables. We're like everywhere and stuff. And I'm laughing. And I like lean over the bar area. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I'm talking to a lady that's there. I was like, oh my God, this is so much fun. And she's like, yeah, isn't it the greatest? And I was like, yeah, it sucks that it's a dream though. And like, I remember saying that in my dream. And then she's just like, what? And I was like, oh, it just sucks that it's a dream. And then the music all just ends.
Like a little record scratch?
Yeah, the music ends. And everyone at the party is like, wherever they were standing, if you had like your cup up or if anything, they're just like, looking at me, like serious face, and just like slowly just bringing their hands, just looking at me until everyone's just staring. And I look at my reoccurring person, and he's just in the corner like,
face palm?
But very, like, he looks very worried. And then I just wake up.
Why do you think you kept seeing him? Do you think it's that one? Do you remember when people were
Hell no, don't even say that.
Oh.
I don't think so.
Okay.
The dream guy?
Yeah, that people say that a lot of people see this one dream guy.
To not get super into it, I just think that I witnessed a lot of things in my childhood that I had no one to talk about it with. And I didn't talk about it with my siblings or anything. That I think that was just me. Like, because he kind of looked like Steve from Blue's Clues. So, like, and I loved Steve from Blue's Clues.
Original Steve, remember when he came back and said that, I'm sorry I left?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I feel like
start crying.
It was things that I liked that made him him. Because I also really wanted to be a detective when I was younger.
Aww.
And he looked like a detective.
That's cute.
So I think it was everything I liked in one person. And so when something really stressful was going on in my life, he was there to talk to me about it. So then my last dream that I had with him was in junior year. And we were at the beach that's nearby where we live. And we sat on one of the benches at the beach. And we were just kind of like, just completely leaning back. We were just talking. And it wasn't about nothing. It was about college. And he was asking me if I wanted to go. Because it wasn't applying season yet for me. It was the next year. But I was like, I haven't really thought about it. Because my sister went, my brother went. And, you know, yeah. And he was like, well, you can do whatever you need to do. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll think about it then. And we were just eating ice cream. And then he was like, I think this is going to be the last time that I come. Like, this is the last time I'm visiting. And I was like, where are you going? And he's like, I just have other places I have to be at. So just like, you know, you're going to do really well and just take care of yourself and everything. And then I just woke up.
I think I would cry.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know.
That's so scary and also comforting at the same time.
Yeah, so I try not to think too much of it. Because if it was that dream man, I'm going to fuck that bitch up.
I'm going to find him and just...
Why are you in my dreams? Hell no. Because I've seen pictures of that guy online. But I don't like looking at it for too long because it's very unsettling.
Yeah, I don't either.
And that's not my Steve.
Yeah, that's not the Steve I know.
My detective Steve.
Wow, we really derailed this episode. I feel like we should continue this on the next one, though.
Yeah, we
on our
definitely
final spooky season book.
Thank you, everyone who's listening to us in audio form, whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or anywhere you get your podcasts on. It means so much that you sat with us through this whole spooky season.
I know, seriously.
I can't imagine hearing this episode in the car if you're driving alone. I'm so sorry. I'm here with you, and so is Detective Steve.
I can't imagine having to edit this alone.
Hell no. Oh my gosh. We can edit it together, hand in hand, moving the mouse.
I know. It's like, stop moving it. Why are you moving it to that letter?
So if you are listening to us in podcast form, if you can please rate us 5 stars, it makes a huge difference and it doesn't take that long to do. So please, if you can go do that. And for reviews, if you are able to leave a review and just suggest a book to us, we are done with spooky season. So you would be suggesting for anything not spooky. I'm going to ban spooky for a while.
Yeah, same.
I'm really scared.
I think I need a break from it, but like I've mentioned before, I think it would be cool if we just kind of like sprinkled it in a little bit more throughout the year and then really go ham during spooky season again.
I agree.
But honestly, I've been anxious a lot because of this.
Me too. I am scared all the time. So if you want to support us and you have money, what's something they could do, Yahaira?
So we did make a Patreon, and for right now, it really just serves as a way for our listeners to let us know that you really enjoy what we do here. I mean, we do 2 books a week. That's crazy. I know, seriously.
And you remember, I'm sorry, I just want to bring up, do you remember how we brought up, like, no matter what, we always have to read the books we talk about?
Yeah, no matter what.
There's other, never mind.
I just feel like I want us to give an actual review of the story.
Yeah.
And also keep it engaging. I mean, we try, okay?
'Cause I don't think I'd be engaging if I didn't read it.
No, same.
So, but it's a lot, but we do it because we love it. So.
Yeah, we really do enjoy it. So if you are interested in supporting us a little bit more, no pressure, you can find us on patreon.com/bookfix.
If you are watching us on YouTube, thank you so much. If you can like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We post every Tuesday and Thursday.
Are we going to find reviews or nah?
I don't think so. This is a long one.
You're right. This one's too long.
Thank you so much, everyone who is listening. Our last episode is going to be, our last spooky episode is Halloween. So we will see you on Halloween.
Bye.
I'm scared.
Don't you think our last... Oh, well, it doesn't really work.
What?
Dia de los Muertos. It doesn't really work, I guess.
But episode 13 is a good... Oh, I spoiled it. Is a good last one.
No, I know. We're not changing it. I'm not reading another spooky book until January, maybe.
No, even then, I need more time. I need to heal.
I need us to... Oh, I need us to read, like, cute Christmas Hallmark. I don't know.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Shit like that.
I agree.